Thanks for listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. I'm your host, Mike Luke, joined by Brad Allis from a secure underground location in Kansas City. Is this true, Brad? Tornado cellar.
Not quite. No, not quite. Under my daughter's loft bed in her room because she fell asleep on the couch next to where my home office is. So we moved it to her room.
Problem. All right, well, we like that. Jose Roman already making fun of Big Mike Luke, and we right there, Jose. I see what you did right there. I like it. And Brad Rich, another one. All right. Now, we'll be able to get to a lot of making fun of Mike, but first, Brad, school is in session. We are going to hand out grades now for the position by position. This is going to be a lot of fun. I nerd out on stuff like this all the time for football and for basketball.
I didn't know we were doing both. I might be ill prepared here. Teacher, dog ate my homework.
Oh, no. You're going to be all right. But first,
in reality, dog last night did eat a flip-flop, my son's mouse, and tried to eat my my undergarments that fit my cup. It's not quite.
Your dog ate your mouse? Like not an actual live mouse?
No, his mouse. Yeah.
Oh, that's what we like to hear. All right. Well, that's good. It's better than a live mouse.
No, it is. Yeah.
All right, we're going to go football first, then we're going to get to basketball because basically the rosters are set now. We know pretty much everything. By the way, everybody asking, there is no update on Dylan Anderson's bike. We're hopeful to find it, but there is absolutely no update on it yet, so we'll find out about that. But first,
I can confirm Mike Luke did not steal the bike.
Seriously, I want him to stick around. I don't want him to leave. The last person that would do it. Now, I would.
No, you would return it, though, and try to get a hug or something.
With a tracking device, perhaps. All right. So let's talk about Arizona football first, then we're going to get to hoop. We're going to go position by position right here. The Find the Bike movement is strong on Twitter. But position by position. Quarterback, obviously, is the biggest, the most prominent position on the team right now. I go, and keep in mind, here's who you got. You've got Jaden DeLaura, you got Noah Fafita, you got Braden Dorman. I go a solid B. I don't know. I certainly can't go A because there was far too much up and down with DeLaura, but it still is an above average unit, in my opinion, and something that Arizona fans aren't used to seeing all the time.
No, I agree. I think it's a B. With the potential probably to be B+. At the end of the day, I think DeLaura has some limitations. Obviously, when you get to Fafita and Dorman, you're looking at, again, another guy with some physical limitations in his height, and with Dorman, just a lack of experience. So not the most experienced group. Obviously, I think Jaden DeLaura is a above average quarterback in the Pac-12 who has the potential to be top 3 or 4 in the league. If you can cut down on turnovers and make a few more big plays, it's a good position group and one that could be very good if some things break Arizona's way.
Yeah, and it's weird. It's unproven depth, but it's also depth, though, that you also are intrigued by if it goes out there. How many times in the past have we seen an Arizona team where you're like, oh, we got Willie Tuitama, we're okay with that, but then it's Adam Austin or it's somebody of that ilk that probably should be more of a scout team player. Now, again, we don't know what Noah Fafita and Braden Dorman can do, but there's also upside there that in the past with Arizona teams, we've also probably not been that sure on.
I feel a little bit, let's say we have the situation we had Fisch's first year. You lose Cruz, who again was limited. You lose McLeod, who did some okay things. And you went with Plummer. Again, Plummer's a good kid. Plummer has some talent, but Plummer's not a Pac-12 quarterback. You feel a lot more better about turning the reins over to Brady Dorman than you do.
Steve Hernandez right here, the great Steve Hernandez, a good referee in this town, by the way, says JDL is Patrick Mahomes. I do not go this far, Brad. What do you say?
One, do not besmirch the good name of my Lord and Savior Patrick Mahomes like that. No, JDL is obviously not Patrick, but no one's Patrick Mahomes on this planet right now, with the exception of maybe Tom Brady 12 years or 5 years ago. But JDL does have some of that gunslinger mentality that Mahomes does. I think Mahomes is a overall smarter player and one who just has a knack for making plays. That might be like saying Kirk Kriisa is Steph Curry.
Correct. It's the same thing.
There's a little bit of that moxie there, but at the end of the day, we're talking about
there's nothing more, though.
Arguably the best player of his generation at quarterback, and a guy who is top 3 in U of A history, maybe at quarterback.
Running back. Another solid B, but if you were to ask me, is it a B plus or a B minus? I would trend toward a B plus right there, William. Michael Wiley back, really good all-purpose back. I think he's proven himself. Not sure if he's an NFL player, not sure if he's not an NFL player. But then Jonah Coleman, DJ Williams, who I'd like to see a little bit more of. You got Speedy Luke in there as well. It's a nice unit. Not a great unit, but I think it's a pretty nice unit. It's an above-average unit.
Yeah, I say B plus. You've got depth. When you've got Williams, you've got Wiley. You're bringing Luke off the bench as a gadgety role player.
Bam.
Jonah Coleman has shown some flashes. When Stevie Rocker's your 5th or 6th running back, that's not a bad unit. Right. Now, are they going to be able to utilize them? Are they going to get enough push up front to use them? Frankly, will they just use them enough? Because I don't think they used Williams enough last year. But it's overall really good group of running backs and have some variety. You've got power runners, you've got speed runners, you've got in-between runners. Wiley's kind of a combo. So I like the group. And I think the group has potential. Problem is I just don't know if they're going to get enough touches to put up big numbers. But I think it's a group that's perfectly capable of being somewhere in that 4.3, 4.5 yards per carry. If you can get to 5 yards a carry, even better. That's an A group.
21 right here. Great. He says we need to see more Speedy Luke. I'm at the point with Speedy Luke, fam, that we need to get they need. I don't care how they do it, but there has to be 9 to 10 touches per game, Brad. Don't care whether that's recorded. What's that?
Minimum.
Right.
Yeah. I want to see him getting carries. I want to see him being used in the slot. I want to see jet sweeps. I want to see bubble screens. I want to see
returning kicks.
Find him to get the ball in space with some blockers and see what happens. He needs to be a gadget player. I don't think he can do 15 carries a game, but I think he can do 15 touches a game. There's a difference there.
Look how Oregon, and again, he's not DeAnthony Thomas. Kansas City, great DeAnthony Thomas, but that's kind of the template, though. Again, he's not as good because DeAnthony Thomas was a 5-star guy coming into college, but 4 or 5 carries out of the backfield. 3 to 4 catches, 2 to 3 returns. I also push back on the theory that he's too small to return kicks. I don't know where this came from. I don't like it because small players generally return kicks.
Yeah, I understand because he's not just small, he's slight. And I get that, but how many times do you see a kick returner get hurt? It's the guys blocking. It's the guys being gunners.
And I don't want Jacob Cowing returning kicks.
No, Speedy Luke, and again, if I have my choice, I want him running back punts and not kickoffs, but I want him to see running back kicks. Look at your great kick returners in NFL history with maybe exception Devin Hester, who's a little bit bigger. Again, it's your Chiefs drinking game. If you want to talk about the Brad Allis drinking game, Dante Hall of the Chiefs was 5'8". Look at the greats in Arizona history, Cedric Steptoe, those guys. Now, they were a little thicker than Speedy Luke. I don't know how much weight he's carrying, but I'd much rather have him running back punts than I want to see him go run off tackle 10 times again. That's a greater propensity to get hurt for a guy his size.
Yeah, and so that's where it's at, though. I need 8 to 10 carries minimum from him because, again, Michael Wiley, although he did do a really good Trung candidate impression against ASU, I don't fear Michael Wiley breaking things the way that I do when you watch a Rayshon Speedy Luke fan.
See, Wiley's the complete opposite back. Wiley's a guy you do want to feed because he's going to get you 4 to 5 to 6 yards per carry. He's going to set up other things in the offense. And if you haven't been able to tell from the last couple of podcasts, I've been reading articles this summer on sequential play calling, most notably what Shanahan does, where he's going to have some plays that gain a yard because he wants to see what the defense does. He wants to see what he can set up for later on. And Wiley's that kind of guy because he's not going to fumble the ball. He may not break many, and he has some. He's been able to break quite a few. But Wiley's the guy I want getting you, 4 to 5 yards a carry. DJ Williams and Jonah Coleman, I want getting you those tough yards on short yardage. Speedy Luke is the guy who I want to design plays for to break big. Right. They all have different, and that's, again, the beauty of this running back group. They all have different uses and different abilities, and let's utilize those to the best of our ability.
We have a very highly ranked unit coming up here, but first, BetMGM. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live. But for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses with BetMGM. Again, make sure you use bonus code PHNX. We've been telling you all from day one that take the over on Arizona at 4.5 wins. The people have heard it, and BetMGM now has it at 5.5 wins. Get in there while you can. Also, let's hear Shane Diefenbach with the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
All right. Now, by the way, we're going to get to Kean Burnett right there. Where's Zoom Diallo going? Not here. He's either going to probably Gonzaga or Washington. Arizona was never getting Zoom Diallo. They were never getting to Don Thomas. All right. Now, the wide receiver spot. This is an A with a possibility of being an A+ here, William. 2 all-conference players, Jacob Cowing, T-Mac. You get Montana Lamonius Craig. Great name. And I also think that he can play a little bit. Ex-4-star kid out of Inglewood, was Colorado's leading receiver last year. Then after that, you got Kevin Green. You got Malachi Riley. There's a lot to like here. My only thing that I want to see from Jedd Fisch is for him to use more players in this and not just using 3 players.
Yeah, and that was the big limitation last year. Now, again, I don't know how much of that's on Jedd, how much of that is on JDL locking in on guys. It's a good group. I mean, I think there's a lot of times where the 3 young guys, Riley, Jones and such would be Arizona's 3 best receivers. But the fact that they're 4, 5, 6
right.
is tremendous.
It's a deep unit.
You've got a couple walk-ons who are really intriguing, including Haynes' kid. So yeah, there's some potential there. And there's some production there. I mean, Cowing is a 1,000-yard guy. T-Mac should be flirting with that.
Do you think T-Mac's going to be a first-round draft pick?
I don't know, because I don't know what his top end speed is, and that's kind of the separation.
Let's say that he runs a 4.49.
Then yeah, let's see what his production is. But if he's a 900 to 1,000-yard guy and he's a 4.49 at 6'4", whatever, then yes, he's absolutely a first or second rounder. Yeah.
But that we agree, though. Arizona's got to play more than 3 wide receivers this year. That was the only thing I didn't like about it last year, and I think it leads to injuries at 2, because you got to remember, Jacob Cowing, even though he's listed at 6 foot or whatever he is, Jacob Cowing's about 5'9" max. I mean, he's not a big dude, and he's somewhat slight. T-Mac, you can be out there the whole time. Lamonius Craig, obviously. But I think you are also at the stage now where Kevin Green has flashed enough. You've got to be able to get him on the field. Same with Malachi Riley to a lesser extent. 5, at least play 5 wide receivers there. That's all I asked for, Brad Allis.
Yeah, I agree with you. And if not, you better utilize the tight end a lot more too.
Right. Well, speaking of tight end, let's go to the tight end right there. So we agree, Brad, A for the wide receivers.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I am going to go A for the tight ends as well right here. This is an interesting group right here. Tanner McLaughlin was the epitome. If you want to talk about Jedd Fisch scouting department or how they're able to find guys, Tanner McLaughlin is that dude. If he's an all-conference guy this year, it would not surprise me in the least. And at the same, then you've also got Kean Burnett right there that I think is about to emerge as well. That's a nice little 1-2 punch. And then you got other guys like Tyler Powell kind of lurking around in the wings. I like this unit a great deal, William.
I'm at B with the potential to be an A, just because we haven't seen Burnett do it. I like his potential. I like his ability, obviously. I like some of the younger guys on the roster. Obviously, McLaughlin, but I think they have room to utilize him more as well. So, yeah, I think it's the best group Arizona's had since the 80s. When they had 2 or 3 NFL guys on the roster at one time.
Is it better than the Manamuliana Lucky? Probably.
Yeah.
That's 2 pros right there.
I'd have to look at the thing. I don't know. Did Richard Griffith overlap with Monomalu? But to me, you had that Blair Keel and back in the 80s, and you had another NFL guy on that roster too. I couldn't remember now, but they were both used in the NFL. So Arizona's had some tight ends. It's just been a while.
Right.
Probably Gronk and anybody was the best group ever, but
But you only got about a year and a half out of him, though. I'm going to go. I'm going to say it's the best unit since Manamuliana and Lucky. And keep in mind, too, they weren't exactly prolific pass catchers. But you also got to remember, though, too, when you got a unit where you got Northcutt, where you got McDaniel, Brennan, there wasn't a ton to go around right there. But still, I agree with it. Edward Sanchez, welcome to the chat. Back the A, baby. But I'm kind of at that stage right there, though, William. I believe that B plus, A minus, something in that group. But you're going solid B right now.
Yeah, I'm going B with potential to be A.
All right. Brad, serious question. When was the last time you went to Circle K? Have you been there in the last 24 hours? Brad, be honest. Have you been cheating on Circle K?
No, I just didn't go anywhere yesterday.
All right. But let's just say you want to see one of the all-time dons of the Tucson sports scene, the great William Brad Allis. Everybody knows William. William mingles with the people. You can find him at Circle K. Make sure you're not missing out on the great stuff. Right now, text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one, get one free Polar Pop. Head to circlek.com/store locator for details and a store near you. All right. Now let's get to some of these.
There's about an 80% chance I'll be there tonight at about 5:45.
All right. Brad Rich says, by the way, we don't like people with two first names. Brad Rich says, wouldn't that be 3 times at Circle K in the last 48 hours for Brad? Brad, guilty as charged.
Yeah, it would.
And you know what? You embrace it.
I had 2 hockey games on Sunday, and I've got volleyball practice for my daughter tonight. So, yeah, we'll be at Circle K getting Gatorades or water.
All right. Offensive line, I'm going with a B. Offensive line to me is weird because you have really good top-end talent here. Jonas Savanea is going to be a first-round pick. I'm not breaking any news right there, barring injury. Jordan Morgan certainly has that potential. Very rarely do you see 2 offensive linemen with first-round grades starting on the same team. As a matter of fact, I can't even remember the last time in U of A history that's happened there, William.
It's been a while. Been a long time. Yeah, I think it's a good group. I've got some concerns. I'm giving it a C+ with the potential to be a B+. I worry about the depth. There's still
the depth is a problem because I think you got 4 guys that you can count on. You got Savanea, you got Jordan Morgan, you got Josh Baker, who isn't as good as them, but he's still solid. And I think Wendell Moe should be pretty good. But after that, you got a lot of question marks, though, especially at depth.
Yeah, and how healthy is Jordan Morgan? I think he's pretty healthy. Obviously, he's had quite a while to rehab from that.
Brad, he's a Marana kid. You should know this. You always have the scoop on Marana. Come on.
I'm not working for the paper up there or the town up there anymore.
Brad, you don't lose your contacts. Come on.
But so I don't know again how, but they got to round out. They got to find 8, and if they have 8, then it's going to be a really good unit. And if they've only got 4.5, then there's some issues. It's the best it's been in a while. Let's put it that way. It's the best it's been.
I think ideally you want Robert Polito to get that other guard position right there.
That I don't know. Do you really want 3 guys 19 and under anchoring your offensive? I mean, he's really talented. He's got the size, but man, you already got two second-year players online. Do you really want another first year? I'd love for one of the younger guys to, or the more experienced younger guys to step up and steal that job.
Is Savanea potentially, and again, we're very early on. I like hyperbole. Does Savanea have the potential to be the best offensive lineman in U of A history?
I don't know. I mean,
you're not going that far, are you?
There's been some really great ones. Joe Toffelmeyer. You were a baby for Joe Toffelmeyer.
Correct.
You got Evan Britton. You got Yusuf Scott.
I expect him to be better long term than Yusuf Scott. I love Yusuf Scott. I thought he was the best interior guard or interior lineman I've seen here in my lifetime.
Probably, but you look at it. Fina was a first rounder. Fina wasn't great at Arizona. He's very good. Glenn Parker was Mulatalo. There's some really good offensive linemen.
So Brad Allis is saying no, Mike Luke. You are wrong. He will. I'm
betting the odds. I'll say no, even though he's really good. He's really good.
All right, so you're going C+. I'm going B- on the line. We're kind of in that same route now. Overall for the offense, then I am going to B+. I expect it to be a very, very good unit. I expect them to score a lot of points. The reason I don't have an A is because I still think Delora is a little too schizophrenic back there. I don't really trust him, even though he's good. I'm going to B+.
Yeah, B+, because we don't know what you're getting fully at the quarterback position, and we don't know what we're getting at the offensive line. I think your other offensive skill position players are among the better group Arizona, at least on paper, has assembled in 10 or 15 years.
All right. Now, we're going to the defensive side of the ball right now. A lot more questions right here on the defensive side of the ball. Tony Clifton asking Damon Williams committing. Everything points to that right there, so fingers crossed. All right, defensive side of the ball. We call it the way we see it here on the AZ Wildcats podcast. You can back the A with still being objective. On the defensive line right now, I'm going a C-. You got some big bodies. You've certainly got some players that I think could play. Brad, I think will hop back in here in a second. That was unceremonious, but Brad, hop back in. But on the defensive line, you've got size for the first time. You've got a big Bill Norton. You got Tai Uiagalelei. You've got Tyler Manoa. Tyler Manoa, to me, is the one player that I think has some real intriguing potential right there. Tia Savea. You got big bodies, but when it comes to rushing the passer, the only one that I look at and I'm like, all right, I think he should be able to get 5 sacks is probably Deuce Davis. There's a lot of question marks right here. Going into this, I'm getting a bit of a C-, William.
I'm going with a flat C. I would say if we're breaking it up into interior and exterior, the interior defensive line is probably a B-, and the your edge is probably a C-. There's some potential there, but there's not a lot of production. There's not a lot of sure things. I mean, they're rolling the dice on a guy like Oren Patu. They're going to be really counting on
Taylor Upshaw. They need Taylor Upshaw to get them 4 sacks.
They probably need Taylor Upshaw to get them 8 sacks. I mean, I don't know if he's capable. That's what worries me.
We need Hunter Eccles back.
Yeah. I'll take freshman year Kylan Wilbon, who then did nothing the rest of his career.
9.5 sacks, Kylan Wilbon is a freshman.
So that's my concern. You're really going to be counting on Davis. You're really going to be counting on Lane. You're really going to be counting again. Oren Patu did not put up big numbers at Cal last year, and they brought him in. Or you're going to be counting on blitz packages.
But at least there's big players here now. I'll at least give them that.
Yeah, you shouldn't get pushed around, but at the same time, again, if you've got all day to pass, I don't care how good Arizona's young corners are, they're going to be in trouble.
I expect Deuce Davis to lead this team in sacks. He kind of forced his way onto the field a little bit. You watch him; he's kind of that angular bend player that Arizona really doesn't have. He's still obviously small. I'd like to see him. I think he's the one that has the most potential to lead the league in sacks, or lead the conference in sacks. The team. Sorry.
The team. Yeah, I think you're right. Honestly, would it shock you if one of the interior guys ended up doing it too? And that's more of an indictment on your ends than it is a benefit on your interior defensive line.
Rich Carrillo's a little more bullish on JDL than we are. Rich, I agree with everything you're saying right there. Luke and Allis, Delora will produce an A- grade. Jedd now as a running game. I would just like to see. There was a little bit too up and down. He was a little bit too up and down for me. Again, good, but I can't give him an A- right now. I'm squarely in that solid B right there. But he does have the potential. He's just got to be more steady. I can't have a game where I'm getting 400 yards and 5 touchdowns and then 100 yards and 3 picks. Yeah,
he was just up and down, and you do wonder with this offseason stuff how much that weighs on him heading into the season. There's an immense amount of talent. There's an immense amount of production. It's all consistency with JDL.
All right, Brad Allis is a very cool guy, as is Rich Carrillo. You know what would make them even cooler if that's possible? Clint Moses has joined the chat, by the way. Shady Rays. Now, we make fun of Oregon State fans a lot on this show. If Oregon State fans, what they probably need, though, is cool sunglasses, though. This is what they should do. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code word PHNX for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. All right. Linebacker should be the strength of the defense here, Brad. I believe that the linebacker unit is a B+. We already know that Jacob Manu can play a little bit, obviously. I'm banking on Justin Flo being solid. Leviticus Sua in there as well. Those are 3 players that I believe are legitimate starting level players, something that Arizona hasn't had. Go to B+.
I'm going B. It's unproven. The interior D-line. Here's my problem. I think there's more depth on the D-line. I've got one proven player at linebacker. Justin Flo did not do much at Oregon. A lot of that was injury. I mean, Leviticus Stewart obviously has an immense amount of talent.
4-star kid, CIF Player of the Year.
Yeah, Daniel Himuli has some ability, but in reality, Flo or Manu's the only guy who's got it done. So it's got huge upside. We could figure out that they got 5-6 linebackers out of that group. Ammon Allen could end up being a player. We just don't know. So to me, it's more of a question mark because of lack of evidence of production.
So you're going a D-.
Talent is there. I'm going B. But you could, if you tell me it ends up being a C group, I could see it. If you tell me it ends up being an A group and the best on the defense, I'd believe that too.
All right, let's move to corners. Corners to me is fascinating. Now, again, these are almost all projections right here. You lose Christian Roland Wallace, obviously. BCAT, is the defense better this year than last year? I believe it will be. I believe that this unit will be somewhere like 7th worst in the conference as opposed to worst. What do you say, Brad?
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a better unit overall, but how much better, I just don't know. I mean, again, even at corner, if we're looking at our grades, I got to give it like a B-, C+ because I don't know. I
got to go C. I'm going C with the corners. But there is some, kind of like with linebacker, there's some real potential. Ephesians Prysock is the one player that Arizona needs to emerge into an all-conference type guy. And there's no reason that he shouldn't be able to do that, quite frankly. 4-star kid. You watch him at practice. He moves differently than the other guys. He's huge. About 6'2". Opposite him will probably be Charles Yates out of Pierce. You got Traden Stukes in there as well. I'm going with the C unit, but I do believe that with Ephesians Prysock in there, there's the potential for higher because I think he's got a lot of potential, William.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm still a big fan of Takario Davis. In fact, part of me hopes that he can win that job over Yates. And Yates is a weird guy because he's shown some ability, and I know the staff loves his tape, but he wasn't real pursued out of JUCO,
right?
Which makes you wonder: is this staff really, really good? Is this Tanner McLaughlin, or is this, Gunnar Cruz in evaluations? And I don't know. Trendon Stukes, he's been a nice player, but I would have loved to see someone else come up and rise up and get that job.
Great.
Obviously. They kind of moved Warnell back out of that nickel spot. I know Celestine may never quite live up to what I hoped he'd be. I think it's a group. It's not super deep, and it's unproven.
Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, I believe, is an ASU fan. Says B+ compared to what? The rest of college football. That's where we're ranking it on. And I think that we both expect Arizona to have a top 20 offense. Is that fair to say, William?
Yeah, top 20, top 25. I think they did that last year. So,
yeah, for sure. It's better than ASU. Sorry, Rodrigo. Now, great point here by Rich Carrillo about Dwayne Aquino. We'll talk about that there in just a second because that is a very good point. Now, it's safety. It is interesting for me because I think some of this is addition by subtraction. Sure, he's a great kid. Christian Young was not good. Getting him out of there, I think, is a good thing. You got Jackson Turner, I thought was better. Jackson Turner obviously went on to UNLV. It's totally unproven. You got Isaiah Taylor, who's going to play a ton, Jason Taylor's kid. You've also got excuse me, you got Gunnar Maldonado, who I thought sucked until he didn't suck towards the end of the season. He was solid there. Genesis Smith, I believe Genesis Smith is the one with the most potential here. I think they'd like to see him start eventually. Everybody here is unproven, to be honest with you. So I got to go C- at best. There's all untapped potential right there.
I'm going D to unproven otherwise.
Yeah, fair enough.
They weren't good last year.
Right.
And they're on paper not much improved this year. Maybe it's
But
addition by subtraction.
Read CY addition by subtraction. Maybe chestnut checkers right here.
Yeah, it could be. And again, if Genesis Smith is ready to play as a true freshman, if Gunnar Maldonado's better than he was last year, if DJ Warnell kind of figures it out, but that's a lot of ifs. And as good as Taylor was at times last year, he's pretty inconsistent.
Right.
And frankly, as much as I hate to bash on the guy, I didn't think they looked extremely well coached last year. Hopefully, the combination of Chuck Cecil with Dwayne Aquina kind of.
Let's talk about Dwayne Aquina. I think Dwayne Aquina is a huge addition to this staff because honestly, you got a lot of young coaches out there. I have no clue if Johnny Nanson's a good DC. Nobody really does. But having that wise sage like Dwayne Aquina back there that's seen everything brings me a little bit more comfort, Brad, as opposed to if he wasn't here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Aquina's a proven commodity. The only thing he hasn't done really well is be an offensive coordinator. But I'm not sure Dick Tobey would have let him be a great offensive coordinator.
That was a tough year, man.
Yeah, but Aquina's, I mean, he's sent guys to the pros. He's had award winners. He has coached DBs. He's coached defensive coordinator. He can recruit. He was
there's no better there's no better defensive back resume in the country than Dwayne Aquina as a coach.
Maybe whoever's at Georgia right now. But
it's
rarefied air.
Right. If overall with the defense, though, I'm giving them going into the year, I'm giving them a C-, but I will take a C-. If Arizona can have a B+ offense and a C- defense, we're going bowling, my friend.
Yeah, I'd say C- with the potential to be maybe a C+. Again, they're going to need to continue to bolster. And what's weird is just how many safeties has these last two staffs brought in.
Right.
And none of them have stuck.
Right.
Just none of them have stuck. And remember, the last Rich Rod class, I think, had 5 or 6 safeties. None of them stuck. Someone brought in safety. They're bringing in safeties now. None of them are sticking. And they have been able to find, some of them have been okay, but they haven't stuck around. Whether it's CRW was okay at that, was it Scotty Young, the other Young? They were okay, but
they weren't.
No, they weren't great, especially at a school that is underrated in these safeties it has brought in over the years. When you start with Al Bubba Gross, through Alan Durden, through Chuck Cecil, through Tony Bowie, through Braden Sanders, even
Michael Johnson.
Give me Jarvie Wooster on this team.
Oh, Jarvie Wooster, spelled WORCHSEEST.
Oh, that guy could just, lay the wood. Heck, wouldn't any of us take an Adam Hall on this team?
I actually thought Adam Hall before injury. I thought Adam Hall was going to be very, very good.
We all did.
Right. All right. Now let's talk. Now we're going to move. All right. Oh, and special teams. By the way, I go special teams. I go a B+ right here. Love Ostendorp and Tyler Loop. All I ask from this, and I grew up in an era where we always had Steve McLaughlin or Matt Payton, so I took kicking for granted. After watching Zendejas, after watching some of those guys who are kicking the ball into the butt of their linemen, all I need is somebody that is good from 43 yards in, and I will take it.
Yeah, here's what you need. You need comparable punting. You need a guy who can make field goals, 45 in, 43 in, and someone who can kick the ball out of the end zone when you ask him. And you need bigger thing is you just can't give up bad field position on punts and kickoffs. That's the bigger thing. Do you have enough bodies out there to have a comparable kick return game? Kick defense game. I don't even need big returns. I just need to not give up big returns. All right.
So now we're going to move over to basketball because that's what we can do around here. Let's talk a little bit. Not Wilma Fontenette, Wilray Fontenot right there. Cornerback.
Wilray was more of a corner.
Wilray was definitely a corner.
But you talk about some other guys during that era, and their names are going to escape me. They had those two fire plug nickels.
Kelly Malvo?
No, Malvo was it's going to kill me. Stoops era, they had one of them actually got in trouble for a while, came back, but they had a couple really nice. They had a lot of nice safeties under Stoops. Why their names are going to escape? I'm going to blurt it out at about 3:30 today and scare my kids.
All right. Hey, by the way, you want to know something that's really, really important right here? We have 2 Circle K reads today. Not sure why we have 2 Circle K reads today.
One for each time I went on Sunday.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Unless I believe I'm looking at this right. Let's see here. All right. Well, Circle K. Either way, Circle K. Check it out. The best, again, you can find William Brad Allis at many, many Circle Ks right there around the city. And again, Mountain or Oracle and Grant, toughest area, you're going to find a Circle K right there. Make sure you're not missing out on all the great stuff. Right now, text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one, get one free Polar Pop. Head to circlek.com/store locator to find one near you. Okay. By the way, they're flexing on 7-Eleven and 7-Eleven. Yeah, that's what we do around here, Connor Johnson. You know what's up. Arizona Hoops. By the way, Brad, what is the worst basketball arena in the conference for basketball? Is it Gill?
The worst I've never been to any of the northern ones. I have not been to Gill. I've not been to Mac. I've not been to the 2 in Washington. And I haven't been to Colorado. So of those, I don't know. Of the worst in the South, and people are going to think I'm trolling. It's ASU.
It's ASU.
Well, I take that back. It was the sports arena, but now it's ASU. And that's because Berkeley's underrated. It's a weird little building, but it's underrated. But I haven't been to Gill, and I haven't been to whatever bandbox Washington and State and Colorado play in. So I'm guessing it's Gill, but of the ones I've been to, it's ASU, and maybe it's even better now. Maybe they spruced it up since last time I was there, but last time I was there, it just looked old.
Right. All right. Now let's talk about Arizona's basketball. Sorry, Jacob Franklin. Yes, I think I messed something up right there. Arizona basketball now, position grades. We're going to the point. First of all, at the point guard, I am going a solid B. Now, with the solid B, it entails this. You've already got Kylan Boswell, who I think is going to be good, but we're not sure that it's going to be good. Then you've also got Jaden Bradley. I think between both of those, it's a solid B. What say you, William?
Yeah, I say B with obviously high end potential to be a B and A. But right now it's a B. And Mike, I'm going to mute and turn my camera off. I'm going to get closer to my router because you're breaking up on me. I don't know how bad I've been lately, but I'm going to move locations.
Good. All right, I will talk with you. I will talk with you.
Then I'll stay. If you guys are hearing me fine, I'll stay. You're just breaking up a little bit, but I can hear you still, so we're good.
You sound fine, Brad Allis. No, Connor Johnson is not complaining. But I go a solid B right there at that point guard spot, Brad.
Yeah, it's a B, but it's got 5-star potential with 2 guys, so it could be an A. But right now it's a B. It's unproven.
One thing that we don't ever have to wonder about, though, is Mountain Mike's Pizza. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Brad Allis has been to Mountain Mike's Pizza before. This is correct. This is correct, Brad. All right. Now, you can head over to the mountainmikespizza.com or to their Mesa Chandler locations to place your next order. Reminder, new diehards get $50 voucher upon signing up. Check it out, Mountain Mike's Pizza. Jordan Pope is not the best point guard in the conference. Now, but we go both B, solid B with the potential for an A for Arizona at the point guard spot. Correct, William?
Yes.
All right. Now, shooting guard, it gets interesting. I am going to go a B+ right here. I am all in on Caleb Love. I believe Caleb Love / Jaden Bradley at that position are going to be solid. And not only are they going to be solid, I think that Caleb Love is going to lead the team in scoring. I think he's going to be about 17 per game. I think he's going to be efficient. I am a big, big fan of Caleb Love. I think this could be the best unit on the team right here. I am going a solid B+ with the potential for a solid A, Brad Allis.
If Caleb Love plays smarter and is not a ball-dominant ball hog, This could be an A group. He could be an All-American. And then when you factor in Bradley playing off guard, when you factor in Pelle Larsson, I'm going B+, but this could be A. And again, Caleb Love has the ability and the experience. He could be a first-team All-American. He could also be a guy who shoots Arizona out of the tournament early. That's the range there. But Caleb Love has a lot of upside. He's already done it. I mean, he's been a fringe, All-American already in his career.
All right, Mike and Brad, does Love play defense? Well, we're about to find out if he'll play defense, but he is tough. Connor Johnson says, football question, is Flo the proverbial leader of the defense? No, I don't know. I would have a hard time saying he is. I think it's Jacob Manu right now. He's the most proven one. He's the one that's got the most gravitas. Brad, what say you?
I don't know. Flo's got that personality, though. I mean, he's
True.
already
spearheading
the recruitment. I mean, he's the guy jumping in the pool with the commits who are committing. But certainly, yeah, I would argue Manu's right there, and I'm guessing some of the OGD linemen might be some leaders there too.
All right, now at the small forward position there, I think it's solid. It's not great, but I think it's solid. The Swedish pit and ball, our guy Pelle Larsson, I think is probably he's a B player. He can play defense, he can finish, but he's limited. He can't dribble, that's always going to be a little bit of a limitation. He and Caleb Love, I think, split the time there. Maybe a little Pauly M in there as well. I think it's a B, but I don't think it has nearly the upside that the other positions do. William.
I'm going to give it an incomplete, and that's because I don't know if you're going to see a traditional 3-man. My guess is Caleb Love is your third guard. I think they're going to start Bradley and Boswell for most of the season. I don't know what Pauly M is going to do. I don't know if they're going to swing Kashad Johnson to the wing. I don't know if Philly Beasley's playing time. I don't know if Pelle Larsson steals the job. So right now, I'd say based upon those group of guys, it's a C+ with the potential to be anywhere from a D to an A.
Right. Now, let's get to the 4 peaks right here. But first, 4 Peaks Brew. Jacob Franklin coming in clutch as usual right here. 4 Peaks. Right now, the 4 Peaks for the U of A, we know for a fact who's going to play. You got Keshad Johnson. You've got Umar Ballo, leader of men. But after that, it's going to be interesting to see who the other peaks that emerge. Keep in mind, Dylan Anderson lost his bike. We need that bike found because at this stage in the game, if that bike is not found, we don't know how he's going to go into the season with a clear head. We need to find that bike. But one thing, though, that you do know about 4 Peaks is it's the official brew of PHNX Sports. Check out 4 Peaks Brew or 4 Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest on Arizona's hometown brewery. Must be 21 years or older to drink 4 Peaks. Please drink responsibly. Going a solid B at the power forward spot, mainly because I love Keshad Johnson. I think that this is a great pickup for the U of A. And not only is it a great pickup for the U of A, it adds a little bit of a toughness factor that Arizona did not have. I don't know exactly who's going to play the 4, the 5 backing up Ballo in the 4, but I love Keshad Johnson. I think he's going to play 30 minutes per game, giving it a solid B, Brad.
I'm going B- with the potential for A.
Okay.
Keshad Johnson, we know, is a solid, good player. He could be very good. He could end up being a 12-8 guy. He just didn't do it last year. I don't know what we're getting out of Vasar, who, again, showed some flashes before hurting his ankle. I don't know what we're getting out of Pauly M. It's a deep group. It could be an A group, but right now I'm giving it the B- B with all kinds of potential. There's the floor is very high, though. That's the good news. The floor is Keshad Johnson is the same guy he was last year, and Vasar is the same guy he was last year, and that's still an okay group.
All right, now let's get to center. I'm going A- at the center position right here. Now, some of you guys might say that I'm stupid, but I'm not stupid, and it wasn't because I had too much OGs. By the way, OGs, people like William Brad Allis that can't sleep, OGs, doesn't miss when it comes to flavor and effect. You can get your pink lemonade gummies while you can. Check out OGs online at ogsbrands.com and on Instagram at ogsbrands. You can also find their products at your local dispensary. Must be 21 years or up. 21, I believe this is the Tommy Lloyd's best team. We will end with that in a second. I'm going A- though, Brad. You're bringing back Umar Ballo, leader of men, 14-8. You've sold me on Mount Krivas as well. I believe between Krivas, Dylan Anderson with the bike, and Henry Vasar, I believe that this should be an A unit here at that center position.
It's an A. Umar Ballo alone is pretty much an A.
Right.
I mean, he's undervalued, I think, not only nationally, but I think by Arizona fans.
Right. I agree.
What was he last year? 14-8, 14-9?
Right.
He was really, really good. He got overshadowed by his line mate. So let's say he's 30 minutes a game, it's identical to last year. You tell me you can't carve out 10 minutes out of those other three guys? Yeah, I think this is I think the front line, the two post players have a potential to be one of the best and deepest in America.
I agree.
We need to see. I mean, a Kashad Johnson, Umar Ballo line together is a B+. I know I gave power forward a B-, but the two of them factored together. I like Krivas. I know a lot of people like Pauly M. I think Vasar is going to be better. I still like the potential of Dylan.
Do we worry about Dylan Anderson's mindset, though, if he doesn't have his bike back?
I worry more about his mindset if he's the sixth big man.
Fair enough. We got to get the bike back, though. We got to make the bike happen. Rodrigo Diaz de Vivar, great question that we'll end with. How about coaching? Tommy Lloyd is elite during the regular season, but underperformed in the tournaments. That's the next step for him. I mean, let's be honest here. That the team with Ben Matherin, that team, I know they made the Sweet 16, but that team underachieved in the postseason. They had one good half against Wright State and generally looked like crap. Otherwise, they looked like poo against Princeton as well. People like Rich Carrillo are saying you need a tougher team out here. I believe, to answer 21, I believe this is Lloyd's best team on paper because I believe that it's the toughest team on paper. This is the year that Tommy Lloyd's team needs to play better in the tournament.
Yeah, they need to perform at or above their seed, and whatever that is. And again, I will temper these Lloyd's going to learn. I mean, people like to bash Sean Miller. Sean Miller was amazing in the tournament at the beginning of his Arizona career, and they got worse. So guys learn, guys develop, guys have ebbs and flows. Obviously, having to escape by the hair of your chin against TCU. Not good. Getting beat up by Houston, not good. Losing to Princeton, I don't care how good that Princeton team is.
Being tied with Wright State in the first half when you're a 16 and one against a 16, not good.
So no, it's. I think if you're giving Tommy Lloyd grades, his in-state tournament's probably a D-.
Right.
But all it takes is one really good run, and we all forget it.
All right, one last thing, too, again, that you don't want to forget again. Lots of reads here. I messed this up a little bit. OGs again. Flavoring life is what OGs is all about, and they make it so easy with their wide range of flavors and functions. No matter what it is you need, OGs Gummy has it. Check out OGs online at OGs Brands and on Instagram at ogsbrands.com. You can also find their products at your local dispensary. Must be 21 years or older. And again, enjoy responsibly. All right, Brad. So overall with Arizona football, I am giving it, going into this year, when you combine both factors, I am giving it a B-. Overall, this is a team to me that should win 7 games. I am giving overall with Arizona basketball an A-. I believe this is going to be the Tommy Gunn's best team by the end of the year. What say Brad Allis?
Yeah, I'm going to go B- with the football team. And you know what? I think right now I would say B+ but I have faith in this basketball team. So I'm going to say A-.
Right.
Like you. I think when it all shakes out, Arizona football is going to win 6 or 7 games. I doubt 8, but maybe 8. And I think the basketball team is going to be a 4 seed or better.
All right. Here's the great Brad Allis. Tomorrow we got Mr. Triple-Double himself, Matty M. Matt Muehlbach, coming on, a fellow Kansas City, pride of Kansas City, like William Brad Allis.
You just said you need to find the smartest Chiefs fans who speak U of A in town, and somehow I got double booked instead of Matt.
We got it back to back right there. That's how we do it right there. Mike, send Brad a 12-pack of Kilt Lifter. The man is overworked and underappreciated, but he's not underappreciated on this show. For the great William Brad Allis, I am Mike Luke, Jacob Franklin behind the scenes. We'll be back with you tomorrow. You've been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast. Bye.